Hello everyone, so I'm going to start the video with some good news. You may remember a few days ago, this video was released by Russia. It claimed to show an M270 MLRS system hidden in a tree line in Sumy district, not far from Kursk, being destroyed by an airburst Iskander missile. Now, at the time, this M270 seemed very shoddily hidden, half poking out of the trees like that, so there was some speculation that this was actually a decoy. Well, it turns out that is actually the case. Ukraine has since released these photos here, confirming that M270 in that spot was in fact a decoy. So, that's very good news. Ukraine doesn't have many M270 MLRS launchers, so if Russia did destroy one, it would be a big loss, especially coming right after the HIMARS units that were hit recently. Not to mention, Russia wasted an expensive Iskander missile hitting it. This is in the tree line here, geolocated by Toaster on Twitter. Zoomed out, this is east of Sumy, not far from the border with Kursk. So, this is in an area where you would expect a long-range MLRS system to be hidden when not in use. Close enough to the front line so the journey to a firing spot would be relatively short, but far enough away to be safe from attack. In the video, we did see the launch of a rocket being tracked by the drone. Now, it's important to point out that MLRS launch was not from this spot, it was here, 13 kilometers away. More good news here. A Russian Telegram page here reports that the third bridge over the Seim River has been destroyed. This follows the downing of the Glushkovo Bridge and the bridge at Zvanoa. Now, there's no photo at the time of recording. This photo here being shared is not the Karyzh Bridge. Here are some photos of the Karyzh Bridge. You can see it looks completely different and is much lower to the water. So, we are still waiting for photo confirmation. But the Karyzh Bridge's days are certainly numbered. It was inevitable that Ukraine would hit it. And now all three bridges which Russia could use to resupply this region over the Seim River are down, basically leaving the area south of the river cut off from resupply, other than the use of pontoon bridges. And there's only a handful of points where a pontoon bridge can be effectively set up. As we will see in more detail soon, Ukraine holds Snagost and Apanasovka now and has reportedly reached the railroad tracks here, so the area is cut off by land too. There is technically a fourth bridge near Alexivka, but check how close to the border with Ukraine that is. This bridge completely unpractical to use because anything moving over it will be sitting ducks for drones and artillery. You have to think Ukraine has eyes on it at all time. I wonder if Ukraine may leave this one standing, just to see if Russia does attempt to use it for resupply and so provide some nice juicy targets. With all the bridges now gone, I think it's a matter of time of when, not if, Ukraine captures this area. I don't think we'll see it happening immediately though. Russia does have quite a lot of forces in this region reportedly, and I expect the Russian higher-ups will want them to fight and drag this out as much as they can. Some more information about bridges here. Reminds me a bit of a Kherson counter-offensive when bridges played a big part. Moving west towards Tekhino, we have confirmation now that Russia has left that pocket of land and destroyed two bridges behind them. On screen now, the first before, showing the bridge in question. Here, the after. So, over half of the bridge is gone, now in the water. I expect this was done with timed explosives set to go off once the area west over the river was evacuated. And here, the before of the second bridge, and here, the damage. So, not as badly damaged, one small section on the western side has gone. These two bridges are here, so confirmation that Russia has abandoned this bit of land over the river and the small village of Otruba. This was reported a couple of days ago, but the destruction of the two bridges now confirms it. There is a third bridge shown here, a railway bridge spanning the river. This one, AS-22 reported, remains intact. This is here. I'm not sure why Russia would leave this one open. I think it's possible that it's just too close to the border with Ukraine, so it's too dangerous for troops to place demolition charges and that sort of thing, and rig it for demolition, because of the risk from incoming fire over the border. This is here zoomed out, so speculation recently that Ukraine may cross the border here too, and open another front in the Kursk special military operation. Ukraine has liberated a new settlement in Kursk. This video clip here shows Ukrainian soldiers removing the flag from a mast in the settlement of Apanasovka. The location of this is quite interesting. Apanasovka is here highlighted in blue, so This is on the push west by Ukrainian forces. You can see it's not far from Snagost, which is pretty much the settlement furthest west that Ukraine has control over. On Live UA's map this is here, so Ukraine has pretty much closed that gap, so to speak. This town pretty much in the middle. Interestingly, this was liberated before the 18th. A no-sync group on Twitter realised there was no cloud covering the area yesterday, yet we see clouds in the video. So Apanasovka has been in Ukrainian hands since the 17th at least, but the video just recently released. From what I can gather, Ukraine's push here at the moment is centred on capturing Komarovka. Yesterday, Russia reported some skirmishes taking place on the outskirts of the settlement, and some Russian Telegram pages are reporting that Ukraine is at the railway line you can see, west of Snagost. Komarovka is in a rather tricky situation, becoming isolated here. This may be one of the next settlements we see captured by Ukraine. Now, there wasn't actually much in the way of combat footage released yesterday to cover. Nothing on Ukraine's side at least from what I could find, other than some photos. Here, this shows an MT-12 repairer in Ukrainian hands captured by Russia. The MT-12 is an old anti-tank gun. Ukraine has used it in the past as a standard artillery role, with its barrel at max elevation. So has Russia. 33 Russian ones have been lost so far according to Oryx. Russia had 500 in service at the start of the war. And here, some photos of an aftermath of an ambush on a Scooby-Doo van. The Scooby-Doo van looks to be in pretty decent condition, but looks like it's leaking oil and other fluids. Most interestingly, the presence of electronic warfare jammers for protection against drones on the roof. The fact they bothered to put these on a Scooby-Doo van suggests that this may have been carrying out pretty important missions. EJ Shahid on Twitter geolocated this to be here. The Scooby-Doo van heading south when ambushed. Zoomed out, you can see that this is southeast of Kalinov, east of Kremyanoa. This area is shown as Ukrainian controlled on Live UA's map, so this is likely an older incident but recently released yesterday. Here, a very interesting video from the Russian side. This shows at least 4 MRAPs, likely more, as we see dust kicked up from the lead vehicles advancing east along a road, when a drone flies in and hits one of them. Now, it isn't the video itself or the loss of a vehicle, which is a Senator MRAP, which is of interest here, but rather where it was. These vehicles were advancing east as shown here, along a road which runs through the settlement of Agronom. At least 4 vehicles were seen, so it's a decent sized force. This road eventually branches off to lead to Ruskaya Konopelka and, bear with me, Surkov Vasilya Velikogo. The senators were moving along this road here shown in blue, and you can see Agronom in red was not shown as Ukrainian controlled. But considering the column of MRAPs are now driving through the town on their way to 2 more settlements, I think we can safely say Agronom is fully in Ukrainian hands as well. We will have to wait for confirmation. It's possible as well we may also see that Ruskaya Konopelka and Surkov Vasilya Velikogo will also be added to Ukrainian new territory in the coming days. So, overall, 1 newly confirmed settlement liberated by Ukraine, 1 extremely likely given MRAPs passed through it. So, despite Russian shills' claims that the Ukrainian offensive here has been halted, that's clearly not the case. Progress has slowed of course, but Ukraine's still advancing and consolidating areas. The big one here is Koronovo, still contested despite Ukraine having a sizable presence south and east, and of course, the areas south of the Seim River, such as Glushkovo, are now heavily threatened because of the destruction of a bridge, likely meaning they're cut off. So, not as much to look at here, but a few villages captured and that sort of thing, and the key thing here is of course the destruction of the 3rd bridge. So, that's it for this video. Hope you found it interesting. Now, I'm going to play a video from Sanath about the ongoing fundraiser with him. Big thanks to everybody who's helped out, the donation link is in the description. Thanks so much, and take care everybody.
Hello Sukhmimers community, my name is Sanath. I'm a volunteer that's been helping the Ukrainian military for the past 2.5 years. I live in Ukraine and have been here for about 10 years. At the start of the war, my good friend Yuri, who was my gym instructor, went to join the military and I stayed on to help support these guys. We've done lots of work along the way, so thank you for everyone who supported us. We currently have a fundraiser ongoing for an armoured vehicle. cyclist for an armoured vehicle. It's going really well. We've raised nearly £10,000. We have got £15,000 to go. The vehicle has already been purchased and is now at the garage. It's having a BMW engine installed, and then it will be taken to Ukraine to have the ceramic and Kevlar armaments installed. So with your continued support, we'll be able to bring this project to a successful conclusion. Thank you very much.